So we're going to say hello and namaste to all of you. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon, wherever you might be right now this morning. And this is, we're sharing this as a webinar, kind of like the first kind of information we're giving out about our online course that's going to be happening all throughout October on the weekends. And yeah, so just our intention today for this webinar is to just give you a taste of what we're going to be doing in October. And in October, of course, we have one deity we're going to be doing each weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, hey, Kara, and Maui, aloha. Yeah, so we're just going to give you a taste. It's really something we're so excited about, to just go into more depth with these deities that I've just been so immersed in this energy and the chanting, their mantras for over 25 years now for me, and who knows, lifetimes. I know a lot of us feel like that too, like there's lifetimes, it's something that we almost kind of just remember somewhere in our DNA. The mantras seem so familiar. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about Shiva and about Kali, especially it seemed pretty relevant to bring those two up today and talk and just share about that energy, because there's so much transformation happening right now, and that's what Shiva and Kali are really about. I mean, they're about so many things, so many aspects and dimensions, of course, to them, and who they are and what they are, and their infinity, of what they represent. But in particular, they do have a lot of quality around transformation and also destruction, but destruction in a way that brings in the new, destroy the old, bring in the new. So that's a little bit about what we're going to do today. But we're going to share some little kriyas we're going to share with you a little later, and just talk a little more about how you can join in on the course with us in October.
Yeah, so we had this inspiration to share with you all our love and our devotion to some of our favorite deities. Obviously, there's a lot of deities, so we're not going to do all of them, but we are going to do 8 of our favorite. And it was cool because as we were putting it together, we were like, how do we want to do it? So we did it in the directions, like east, west, north, south. And so east is, so we're going to start October 10th and 11th. We're going to start with Saraswati and Ganesha, right? The beginnings, the new beginnings, auspicious beginnings. And then the following weekend, we go to the south, and the weekend we'll be doing with the deities of Lakshmi and Krishna. So that weekend is going to be very playful, fun, celebratory, beauty, enhancing, abundance, all the qualities of Lakshmi and Krishna. The following weekend, we're going into the West, more mature, the maturing of the soul, the maturing of the human. So we are moving into the deities of Durga and Hanuman for courage, fierceness, service, strength. So in maturing. And then last but not least, we go into the north, and we finish with Shiva and Kali, the deities of the finishing, the destruction, the dissolution, and the reintegration.
And Shiva's going to be on the Day of the Dead, by the
right.
way. Kali's on Halloween.
Yeah. So that's the 4 weekends straight in a row, and that's starting October 10th. And each day we are going to be teaching a morning yoga journey specifically for each deity of the day. So each morning we'll have a specific deity that we'll share to that theme. And then in the afternoon, we do a workshop specifically on that deity. So we're talking about, and we'll do mantra practices, visualizations, just learning more about the deities, the meanings, representations of what they mean. And then ultimately, one of the nights, either Saturday, Sunday, we're going to do music specifically for each of the deities. So yeah, that's what's coming up. We're very excited. We're calling it Embodiment of the divine. And it's just a course on some of our absolute favorite deities that we have really just have touched our lives, that have inspired our lives. And I think we share this with you all because ultimately, at some point, we started having a love affair. We started having a love affair with deities. And over time, maybe a lot of times it starts more like you have one or two, that you like. You're like, oh, I like Krishna, or Ganesh, or ooh, Lakshmi, yes. And then perhaps over time, some of the other deities come into your life more, and really what we are feeling inspired to share with you all is a little bit for each of those. And so maybe we do an activation, something activates for you, something opens up for you. And why is that relevant for you? I feel like the deities, first of all, in this yoga tradition, the deities are really about a technique. It's a technology of and science of devotion. It's a science of opening up our hearts, science of connecting with deeper purpose and meaning of ourselves and how we are relating to the external and internal. And so it's there's symbolism there, but there's also experience that you have with each of the deities or the mantras. And so typically with each deity, there's a mantra associated with each one. There's a yantra, a geometric figure, and then of course there's also the physical manifestation. So like how are they depicted? And so all three of those are actually the technology of relating to the deities. And so for the course, we're going to share with you way more in depth about each one and why, what that really means for each and every one of us on our path. Because each and every one of us relating to those in our own personal life experiences, then we start enhancing and expanding our sense of our connection to source. Because all of a sudden we're not getting so stuck in our mundane day-to-day lives, our storylines, and that feeling of kind of smallness or kind of purposelessness. You start to expand your narrative and understand that your story, that your life is always interwoven into this spiritual dimension. And the deities offer gateways of your awareness and your heart, your connection to that experience of growth, to that experience of connection. And to us, I mean, I think it's just added so much richness and flavor and connection, ability to open our hearts more, ability to love life more, to appreciate spiritual teachings more. All this comes from learning more about the deities. I don't know, maybe you want to share anything more about that.
Well, I was just going to move into a little bit about sharing. It kind of segues into that, just a little bit of background, my own personal background with my connection with these Hindu deities. Of course, my name's Lakshmi. My name's Jaya Lakshmi. And I took initiation into the Gaudiya Vaishnava movement in the early 90s. And I was given this name Lakshmi. And I already knew a little bit about the deities, but of course, it's all about Radha and Krishna. And they really sparked my heart. Even when I was a teenager, I would see pictures of them. And I was just like, who are they? Like, who depicted them in different illustrations of their sweetness and their beauty and their love for each other? And they were like the ultimate romantic couple or something. Caught me, and actually they are, it's this, depending on how far you go with the myth or the story, or, just the archetype of Radha and Krishna. So we'd kind of be looking a lot at the archetypes also of the different aspects of the divine. And so that's why, we call it the embodiment of the divine, because we're looking at the different aspects. So my first really deep connection was with Radha and Krishna, and they're like the god and goddess of love and sweetness and devotion, and that really like sparked my devotional heart the kind of person that I am in this lifetime. And I met people along the way at that time who were also really deeply into Lord Shiva. Met some Shivites, and they would chant to Lord Shiva all the time. So I would make friends with them, and I learned a lot of Shiva chants. And so because I'm pretty open-minded, and I kind of continue to be open-minded, and I love to hear people sing, and just share their own devotion from their heart, for whatever it is for them. But just honing in on, the teachings from India and Eastern spiritualities, these gods and goddesses that we're going to be focusing on are really some of the more popular gods and goddesses of India. And over the last 25 years, I've been chanting. We've been leading kirtan, and Anand and I have been doing this together for the last 10 years. And we find ourselves very immersed in connecting with each one of these deities. And just really going down and feeling like that energy that the deity brings to us through the mantra, or through the yantra, or through the song. So that's kind of, I'm just really excited to finally be able to do something like this, to go a little more in depth with each deity. And because, the kirtan, we can only do so much. We chant, and it's amazing, and it's so powerful to chant to Ganesh for, half an hour, or to chant to Krishna and Radha, Hare Krishna, and the Maha Mantra. So you get a really good taste of that through the sound, through hearing, through the hearing of the vibration, the sound, the holy names, the holy sounds, the sacred sounds. So in this platform we're going to do now, it's like in October, this will open up the door to even more technology, like Ananda was saying. You'll learn more about how to incorporate the mantra with breath work, and with kriya, and with yoga asana. And we'll be designing these yoga classes that are going to be just pertaining to that energy of that deity. So it's really a dream come true for me to be able to share this with all of you. And it's literally my first time doing this. So, and it's perfect. It's perfect to do online connecting right now. And we'll both be in Sedona. We'll be in Sedona when we do this in October in Arizona.
Yay. So, like as Lakshmi was saying, we have been singing to these deities. I mean, Lakshmi's been singing for over 20 years, and maybe somewhere along 10 years or something like that. I particularly got inspired. I was just starting to do some kirtan, and then particularly when I met Lakshmi, that was when it really kind of kicked into gear a whole nother level. And it's just a deep dive, quick, of just wanting to embrace the deities, embrace the mantra practices, the technology, open up my heart in ways that have never really been opened up in that way, this kind of transcendental, divine connection, and also how that relates to our day-to-day experience. And I'm a big proponent of that, of how to relate the divine transcendental experience of the deities and mantra practices with the day-to-day living. Like, how does it relate? How is this tangible? Because it's all interwoven. So if you're going to have a transcendental experience, it's also going to relate to your day-to-day experiences, and your day-to-day experiences are also relating to your transcendental experiences. And ultimately, we are cultivating these utmost profound presence of the here and now, to be very present with the external and very present with the internal, very present with the kind of mundane of the day-to-day, and very present with the transcendental, and how it's all interweaving, and the dance of it all. And so that's kind of a good segue to what we're going to particularly focus on today. And we're gonna focus on the dance the great dance, the Tandava. So you may have heard this before. The Tandava is the dance that each god has, like, goddess has a dance. And particularly famous dances, probably the most famous, are the dance of Shiva and Kali, because they dance the wildest dance. It's the dance of just absolute transcendental losing themselves, but they're losing themselves in destruction. They're losing themselves in kind of this wildness. And so I'm gonna start with Kali, and then Lakshmi's gonna share with you about Shiva. Kali is quite this figure, and a lot of times she's feared. A lot of times she's misunderstood because she's depicted wearing a garland of skulls, and she's got weapons, and she's got blood, and she's blood dripping from her mouth. And she's depicted as the slayer, like the ultimate demon, or the ultimate demon. So, like, if you have to call in the ultimate demon slayer, ultimate unconscious patterns, the ultimate addictive behaviors, because ultimately we got to relate, again, the transcendental, the stories, the mythology, with the tangible human experience. So what is that? That means calling in Kali for our deepest unconscious behaviors that are running amok of our lives, or that sneak up on us when we're starting to, we have a good thing going, and then it's just like sabotage our, our experience, and our exploration of that. So Kali represents that. Kali represents this deep exploration of the illusion of ego, the illusion of all the identities that are created around who we think we are, and that experience of when that aspect of who we think we are gets slashed away. Not like a gentle, Kali's not gentle. Kali's fierce. Kali is that moment in life when you have the serious, the rug is pulled out from under you. You have a fierce life transition. You have to deeply look at yourself. Look at what's meaningful for you, what's really authentic to you, what truly means, what's eternal to you. And so this is all what Kali represents. And I think, obviously, now we relate it to a bigger picture with this concept of like a pandemic. The pandemic is ultimately making us look as humans, as a culture, as nations, at what? It's death. The fear is death. The fear is that so many people might die. So many people are going to get sick and die. And so what's Kali teaching us about that? Well, Kali teaches us that death is just part of life. Death is one transition to the next. And death, not only that, but death is happening all the time. That the ego dies, is born, it's constructed, and it's dying. That the human body is constructed and then dying. But that the soul is eternal. So she's the reminder that, especially when we're really attached to a way of life, really attached to a storyline, attached to something really, like we really want to hold it, and it just gets sliced away. And so what's the pandemic doing? I mean, for so many of us, pretty much everybody, some way we're getting shaken up. Some way, some aspect of our life is getting just pulled out from us, sliced away, slashed away. And so here it is. Kali is here. She's telling us, she's teaching us, now is the time to go within. Now is the time to connect deeper with yourself. Now is the time to connect with Mother Nature, to connect and be in more harmony with nature. Now is the time to really go deep with what is truth. What is truth for you? What is not just the storyline that you've been so attached to? The storylines that you just keep playing out and out and out and out. And all of us are having to be, look at all this and shaken up. So to me, that's how I witness and I expand my awareness of what's going on in these times in relation to Kali. So Kali is teaching us. Life is teaching us. So life is teaching us, but maybe in the Vedic tradition, the yogic tradition, we might say Kali is teaching us. Because this aspect of life, this aspect of consciousness, this aspect of Mother Nature is fierce. It's intense. It's strong medicine. Strong. It's really making us look at our stuff. You know, look at what we thought where our securities we thought we had, and you know, some of those or a lot of them just dropping out. So in the tradition, it's not just about talking. It's not just about intellectualizing it. It's about experiencing it. And so it's important to learn about it. It's important to intellectualize it. That's a part of the branch of yoga, Gyan Yoga, the wisdom teachings, the wisdom understanding. But then there's also the aspect of Kriya Yoga. The Kriya Yoga is the yoga of action, the yoga of evolutionary action, of experiencing the deity. And then there's also Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga is the devotional aspect. That's opening your heart and opening your connection to the deity. So we've talked about it a little bit here, giving you a little bit of context to Kali and how it relates to this here and now. But now I'd like to share with you a practice so that you can not only just have that intellectualized, but you can go into experience of it. So we're going to use, come seated up. If you're seating. If you are sitting, come sitting up straight. Okay? And you can just make a bowl with your hands. Let's see, where's that camera? There we go. We got like a bunch of cameras going on here, so if our eyes are kind of cross-eyed or looking all around, that's why. There's lots of cameras. Okay, so your hands are in front of you. You got a bowl in front of you, and you're going to visualize this bowl with like flames or a cauldron just bubbling fire, like a ball of fire. And you're going to put in anything that you're struggling with right now. You're going to put in anything that you would like to just release or you want to try to move through. And you're going to just put it into the flame, put it into the fire, put that awareness of what's holding you back into the fire. And then we're going to chant a mantra together, okay? So again, we were talking about the science and technology of Bhakti Yoga, of Kriya Yoga. So we're using the mantra Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Okay? So you're seated up straight. Eyes can be closed. Focus at the third eye here, the forehead. And then we are just going to go ahead and start chanting. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. 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 Om Kali Kali 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 Namaha. Now inhale deeply. Hold it. And release the hands down. Just a few times internally chant the mantra Om Kali Kali Namaha. Om Kali Kali Namaha. As you're sitting here, you could visualize Kali in front of you, in her, perhaps in her wrathful form. She also has a very compassionate side. She's fiercely compassionate because ultimately, when she's slashing away, or she's in this deep mood of transformation, she's doing so with fierce compassion to dissolve the illusion and bring you to truth. And she's doing that fiercely. Sometimes Kali is depicted as a very beautiful woman, in a very compassionate state. Kali doesn't always need to be super wrathful, destructive. She can be deeply compassionate. Jai Kali.
So, share a little bit about Lord Shiva. And Shiva is also known as the destroyer. Depending on which, there's different lineages and sects that see Shiva in different ways, of course, and that's the way it is all over India, is that they might see one god as the great god, as the Mahadev. If you're a Shaivite, you would see Shiva as the Mahadev. And that would mean that he is everything. He's the creator, he's the sustainer, and the destroyer. So it's very, all these spiritual philosophies, they get very intertwined, and it's quite fluid. And we learn about that as you learn more about these stories, these deities, these myths, and if you go deeper in, it's very, it helps you actually get out of your mind, because we go into it thinking, well, I want Shiva to be this, or why do these people think Shiva's that? Or it's like you cannot put anyone in a box, really, in these traditions. And that's a big part of the teaching, is that they're ever fluid, and they're ever present, and they're all eternal, and they're all infinite. And many of them have infinite aspects as well. But so Shiva, though, is popularly known as, he's the third in the triad of gods, Brahma being the creator, Vishnu being the sustainer, and Shiva is often seen as the destroyer. And so he has this in common with Kali also. And that's what, like Ananda was saying, his dance, the Tandava dance, he's swirling around. You'll see the Nataraj dancing. He does this cosmic spiraling dance. And it's really the dance of creation and destruction, and everything's happening all at once. It's just this whirling, swirling cosmic dance. And so, yeah, he has this destructive kind of aspect of him. But Lord Shiva is also known as King of the Yogis. So Lord Shiva is also, everyone knows, he resides on Mount Kailash on his tiger skin, and he's in constant meditation on the Supreme, or he's in his bliss. He's in the Atma. He's one, the oneness, the bliss, the cosmic bliss. So he, over many thousands of years, Lord Shiva has been a teacher for all the yogis. He's the ultimate yogi, and he teaches us how to do this and how to connect deeper into our stillness, deeper into our silence. And this is where we find this cosmic ecstasy and this bliss. We find this inner connection with the infinite, Atman, with the infinite oversoul, the Brahman soul. This is what Lord Shiva brings us, this way, this techniques, this awareness, these teachings. And so I like to see Lord Shiva at this time, whereas Kali, can get, they are consorts in many different, dimensions. Kali and Shiva are consorts. So, and Kali can get really out of hand sometimes when she's just on the battlefield and she's just exploding, with just her, just her violent temper to destroy the demons, to destroy the demonic energy. So Shiva actually can help her calm down. So I'd like for us to tap a little bit into that energy of Lord Shiva during these times. At the same time, all this is going on, all this devastation in different aspects of our lives, the fires in the west, the floods, the hurricanes, all kinds of upheaval in our personal lives, and then the pandemic and the politics. It's a very, very intense time of upheaval. So the energy of Lord Shiva, I feel like in our meditations can come and help us, and help anchor us, like the eye of the hurricane. So that's what these meditation techniques, they're bringing in that cosmic peace, that cosmic connection, that infinite connection and alignment that Lord Shiva gives us. And that's a mastery. That's a yogic mastery. So that's what we're all being challenged on some level. We have a choice. We have a choice of how we're going to react during these times and how we're going to take care of ourselves and what are we going to do with our time and our energy. And meditation is very important at this time, even though it might be challenging also time to do it. Well, it kind of always is for most of us, because this is a very busy life that many of us lead, and it's very full. But it is so important, it's so crucial to just take that time every day, or even a little bit of time, to just anchor in that deep, deep peace. And this is wonderful if you have a Shiva deity, especially the ones where he's in stillness. I really like those. The Nataraj is beautiful too, but that is, of course, that's the dynamic movement. If you have a Shiva deity or Murti, or if you have a Shiva Lingam, also the Shiva Lingam represents that depth and that anchoring into that cosmic bliss. So, you can light a candle and then you can just drop into whatever meditation might pertain to accessing that state. It could be Om Namah Shivaya mantras, it could be chanting the Mara. I wanted to share with you today the breath work, in a Kriya that we learned in India last spring with Anand Malhotra through our Sattva Yoga training. And I love this one, it's so powerful. It's called the Shiva Kriya 3. And this is, the breath, of course, as most of us know, is a way to calm, it's a way to activate. It's a really one of our greatest tools. It is just about the greatest tool that we have to learn how to master our own energy, and our mind, and our body, and everything, in every aspect. So the breath is really important to bring in also the various different kinds of Kriya. And so this Kriya, we're going to bring our hands up into this trident mudra. Like this, yeah. And we're going to inhale 3 times through the nose. We're going to exhale forcefully through the mouth. And as we inhale 3 times, we're going to activate the navel every time we do that. So it's going to look like that. So on that fourth, we're going to exhale. And we're going to twist the hands out as if we're releasing. And you can really kind of get into a little bit of the drama with your hands, into the release of it. And yes, this Kriya does bring release of negativity, release of fear. It builds this aura of protection around us and strength. So let's start. So wherever you are, just in a chair or on the ground, you can just sit up straight, straighten your spine. And we're also going to close our eyes, and our drishti is going to be at our inner third eye up here, looking up here at our third eye. And so we'll begin. We're going to inhale. Inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And just let yourself relax and find your own rhythm. We'll be here for another couple minutes, so just relax with your own rhythm. Breathing the energy up the spine. Just a little while longer. And after your next exhale, inhale, and hold the breath at the top. Big breath in. Bringing the gaze at the inner third eye, bringing the energy up the spine. Keep holding the breath. Keep holding. And release the breath, release the mudra. And just take a few moments to focus on that center in yourself, that center of peace, stillness, silence. And this is where you can connect with Shiva. Even the word Shiva, it's invoking this place. It's invoking auspiciousness within yourself, within your field. That's what the word Shiva means. It means auspicious, auspicious one, sacred. So this is how the energy of Lord Shiva can help us in our life, in our daily life, throughout our day, through our meditations, through our mantras, through our breath, and bringing our focus, our awareness into these single pointed places. The breath really helps us do that. Kriyas help us keep the mind steady so we're not thinking of other things, which is very easy to do. So here we feel the energy of Lord Shiva as very close with us, and he's here to help us with this practice, this stillness. He's our guide. And we ask for this energy to come and assist us in our practice. And Lord Shiva also creates a depth, where there's a depth and there's power there. Such power, such infinite power. So he can connect us into our own infinite divine power of ultimately love and bliss, cosmic bliss. Namo Shivaya.
Do you have a charger?
Yes. Yes.
So, wow, beautiful. I hope that if you've been around practicing with us, that you enjoyed that, and just see what you just have your own internal experience with that. So, like I was saying, we have the wisdom teachings, but then we also have the practical and tangible experiences through kriyas, through through kriya, through action, through breath. So yeah, it's been beautiful, and we're sharing this with you all because we have this incredible course coming up. Oopsies.
Sorry.
You didn't plug it in there.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
So, just one moment. We're having a quick little technical difficulty charging up a little device. Okay, great. Charged.
That is one thing I want to share, though, while we're on that little subject, is that when we're in Sedona, we have a beautiful online studio all set up, and cameras and beautiful sound. So it's going to be really nice. It's going to be really dialed in.
Yeah, so if you haven't been with us for the whole time, you just dropped in, we are sharing this about an upcoming course that we are very thrilled to be offering. And so the course is going to be over 4 weekends, starting October 10th. And we are going to be doing, each weekend we'll focus on 2 different deities, so 1 deity each day. And morning practice will be a yoga class focused on the deity. Afternoon class will be wisdom talk, more mantra, maybe visualization, maybe a little Q&A about the deity. And then lastly, one of the nights, either Saturday or Sunday, we're going to do music, and we'll sing, because the singing is the kind of the cream on top. It's it's opening a heart, and it's really embodying the experience of the connection of the deities. So that's ultimately it's our favorite. It's the juiciest, but all are essential. All are really crucial practices to really connecting with the divine through these forms, through the deity forms. And so we're calling the course Embodiment of the Divine. And we're really, really looking forward to this. We have links in the videos, or you can go to our website at jayalakshmiananda.com, and you'll see a link to it. You can, mostly people are going to be probably streaming it, or they can live video it later on. You can just watch it at your own, whenever you feel like you can. And for a very few who like to, they can come and attend in person in Sedona, Arizona. So if you're in Sedona, or you'd like to join us in Sedona for one of the weekends, or every weekend, there's 4 consecutive weekends ending in Halloween, October 31st and November 1st. We are going to be offering that in the studio in Sedona, Arizona. So you're also welcome to join us live. And really pretty nice, I think, pricing plans, about $108 per weekend. Or if you want to do the whole course, it's $360. And yeah, I think we're super, super excited. I think maybe we could open it up. If anybody has some questions, we have a bunch of panels here. We got Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. But if you have any questions, you can maybe write questions in the comment, and either we could get to them now, or we'll reply back to you. So if you had any questions for us in regards to that, you totally could put it in the comment, or just send us a private message. Either way. So if you have anything now, post your question now, and we'll see if we can answer it. And if not, then we'll call it a wrap.
See.
Getting waves. Okay, well, you can always post a question later too, and we look so forward to connecting with you more in depth. It's a special, special opportunity to go in depth in your connection and with deities, and with us sharing with you our inspiration, our love, our technology that we've learned to just continually to enhance our experience with the deities, with the mantra practices, with just the celebration of this life. Really, that's what it's about.
I feel like it's such a really important time. I'm so happy we're doing this in October, for the election and everything. I feel like it's going to be so powerful for us to be in this space and to share these practices and these teachings, and to come together with our community that forms around our course. And I just feel like it's a very important time for us to be focused on the divine and divine embodiment and practices that keep us in our center and really connected to the truth and to the beauty, to the love of who we truly are. And this is, we're going to be taking this journey with the deities the whole month of October and really, taking that in and integrating that into our own life. So I feel like it's a really good time, especially for us to be doing that when the world is just kind of so topsy-turvy. So we're going to help center and anchor into these divine qualities, the divine aspects of, of God and Goddess. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining. We'd like to end with a Hari Om Tat Sat. May we all come to our divine realization and deepening and awakening. That this awakening process is an ongoing unfoldment, always, always, always. So, blessings. Have an amazing day. Thank you for dropping in with us for however long you could. And we wish you all the best. And we hope you will join us in October for our online course, The Embodiment of the Divine. Namaste.
Namaste.